Geico presents Our Town, Season 4, a 30-minute podcast produced by Best Bark Communications, a small but fierce client-centered marketing company powered by decades of experience and well-established business networks. Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. Now, here's your host, Andy Ockershausen.
This is Andy Ockershausen, and this is Our Town, and I am so excited to be here at this time and this place with this lovely lady. I'm going to tell you about it. But this is so special to me and to our town. And I met Tycely, and Tycely is a combination of Cicely and Tyson, and I love it. I was introduced to her by a story I saw in the Washington Business Journal. I give them credits. And I was so impressed with this young lady, with her face and her demeanor, and the fact that she was working for an organization I've heard of all my life, had no idea what they were doing. But I knew about Georgetown, because that's where our offices are. So I walked down the street and walked into this building and said, I'm here to see the new head of the Junior League of Washington. Tycely is the one, and Tycely Williams, welcome to our town.
Andy, thank you for having me, and thanks for the kind words. That really means a lot.
Well, you know, seriously, that's how I discovered you and how important. I had no idea what the Junior League was doing.
Yes.
I think I've talked to you about that. My image of Junior League goes back 50, 60 years, but I thought it was a very, very volatile group of lovely women that met at the Mayflower and had teas. And they had a lot of involvement in the city. I knew that. And I knew about the building in Georgetown.
Yes.
And to be in Georgetown, I think, is a coup.
Yes, it's fantastic.
And to find out the Junior League is down the street from our office, it opened the door for me. And I found out a lot about you by doing that. I'm so delighted that you are Junior League.
Oh, Andy, thanks so much. It's been a great opportunity to lead the organization. I'm learning a lot, and I'm having the opportunity to connect with people within our town that are doing great works. So it's just a really exciting time to lead an organization that's focused on volunteerism and developing the potential of women, because that's who we are and that's what we do.
It's more important every day, Tycely. And what I discovered about you is that you were the first woman or female or girl of color to head this organization. And I am so delighted for them to have you, because I know what you bring to it.
Oh, Andy, thank you. That means
you bring a difference, and differences are important. I really believe that.
Absolutely. The organization is celebrating 106 years of service this year. And we are all collectively excited about the opportunity to have a woman of color leading the organization. Like you said, diversity exists in various forms. So also within the Junior League, we have women of all ages.
Oh, so I know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, you referenced earlier that you've known of the Junior League of Washington for quite some time.
Forever.
So you've got to be 21 to join the Junior League of Washington. And we also have sustaining members within the Junior League of Washington. So these are women who have given active years to volunteering in the community, and they've decided to support the mission by remaining a part of the membership, which their dues really helps to propel our charitable mission. And some of our sustaining members are literally over 100 years old. It's amazing.
Well, that is our town, though. I'm so glad, because I grew up in the days when the Washington Evening Star, the newspaper, was the dominant force in our town.
Yes.
I mean, way back in the 40s, 50s, 60s. And they were, as a company, they were deeply involved with the Junior League, because all of the wives of the officers of the Star were Junior League members. I know that'll be in your role somewhere. So I would hear about it from them or about them, but I was never really that close to find out what a great organization this is. And then it finally dawned on me later, these women are not having cocktails, they're working.
They're working, absolutely.
I found that out 50, 60 years ago.
Absolutely. And we're really proud of the great work that we do. So oftentimes people are confused about what the Junior League is. And so the way we describe ourselves, we are Women Improving Washington. We've been in our town since 1912. And we have called different segments of the city home. And we've been places, Andy, that you might not expect to find a woman of the Junior League of Washington.
I believe that.
Do you believe it? It's most certainly true. I was having a conversation with a sustaining member, and she referenced a volunteer service that we once rendered on 14th Street. And this is at a time when 14th Street was not the mecca that it is today as far as business community is concerned. It was a questionable area of town. And
nightclubs,
nightclubs, and as
the Blue Mirror.
Yes, and as she called them, women of the night frequented 14th Street. But what was really awesome and what I was really inspired by is that the Junior League of Washington had trained volunteers on 14th Street passing out condoms to ensure that women working the streets
right,
were
protected
and safe.
And the Junior League did that.
And the Junior League of Washington found themselves advancing a charitable mission literally after midnight. And it was really...
that's an incredible story.
It's an incredible story, and it was shocking for me, considering I thought I knew and understood.
I've never heard that story. I've been involved with broadcasting and news all of my life. I've never heard that. It's a fabulous story.
Absolutely.
What they've done.
We try to meet the needs of the community. You also know the Junior League because of your work with Leadership Greater Washington.
Oh, absolutely.
So many decades ago, there was not a coordinated leadership program within our town. And so members of the Junior League connected with the Board of Trade.
Oh, yeah.
They said, hey, this needs to exist. And so they collaborated, and they've created what has become a signature program within our town. And Leadership Greater Washington is one of many gifts that the Junior League of Washington has given our town.
Oh, absolutely. And the Junior League became such a big part. I was on the organizing committee and had a great relationship with the ladies of the Junior League. As a matter of fact, we even had a couple of meetings in your building.
Yes.
We're talking 1986 to get it off the ground. Getting leadership off the ground was not easy because people didn't know what it was.
Exactly.
But after 1 year, it became a sellout almost. People had to be in the program. They had to go through it. And as you know, you just finished the program?
Yes, absolutely. Just finished the program in 2018. My class is 2018, Making a Scene.
Did you go to Meet the 19 group?
Yes.
I was invited to that. Jandy, we didn't go to that. Why didn't I go to that?
There's a winery, I believe. The winery.
Is that the winery? I don't drink wine.
You don't drink wine.
Vodka I'd go for, but I'm not going for wine. But Tycely, it seems to me that the things that you have brought up to me, I have never heard before but helping out. But that's really a grassroots effort when you get people right on the street.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And Andy, it connects back to the start of the Junior League of Washington. It's hard for women like me to wrap our heads around the fact that there was once a time where we weren't allowed to work outside of the home. We could not pursue formal education. And it seems that that is very far removed from today's reality. But many, many decades ago, the women who started the Junior League, as well as the Junior League of Washington, they were looking for opportunities to not only grow, but opportunities to improve the community around them. So what I think is really exciting is that we've continued the tradition of developing the potential of women. And today we do that in a more formalized way. But the Junior League women are very resourceful. And so the events that you referenced at the Mayflower, those were actually ways that we raised
big money raising. I remember that.
Give
auctions
grants.
And so forth.
Absolutely. And those women had entrepreneurial
I don't make fun of the
skills.
Mayflower. The Mayflower is a big partner of our town.
Yes.
And the fact that Junior League used it gave it a lot of clout because Mayflower brings clout to the table.
Sure.
As Junior League does.
Absolutely.
So they work beautifully. But it's so great to hear these things from you that I probably have heard them all my life and didn't realize they're formalized with you. But it's a great conversation. But I've talked a lot about the Junior League. We're going to take a short break here and come back and talk about Tycely Williams.
Okay, keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
I want to show you my first ever painting.
All right.
Okay. Open your eyes.
Oh, that's a lot of colors and shapes.
So be honest. What do you think?
Well, I like how if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here, why don't I hold your paintbrush while you call them?
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
This is Sonny Jorgensen. Got a confession to make. I let my wife drag me to one of those Mike Collins estate planning seminars. Like I don't have enough on my plate with a certain football team. Actually, it wasn't too bad. In fact, we both learned a whole lot about how to protect our kids and grandkids down the road and to take care of ourselves right now. So if you get one of Mike's invitations in the mail, go. I'm glad I did. Get all the information and register online at MikeCollins.com. That's MikeCollins.com.
You're listening to Our Town.
This is Our Town. In a conversation with Tycely Williams, we've covered her career as it is now, but I wanted to cover her life, to go back to this lovely, gorgeous young woman who was born in Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, Alabama, absolutely. Home sweet home. And you know, in the state of Alabama.
Who did that movie, Home Sweet Home Alabama? Wasn't that a great movie?
It was a great, fantastic movie. One of my favorites.
Her first movie, I believe, wasn't it? Sweet Home Alabama?
It might have been Reese's
Then later
First
she did the Dizzy Blonde thing.
Yes. Yeah, I think the world of her. She's fantastic.
Don't you
She's
agree, Jen?
just
We just love her.
marvelous. Yeah,
Great
I do
performer.
too. I love her. She's got lots of sass, which is important.
But she couldn't have come from Birmingham. She's probably from Montgomery or someplace.
That's a good question.
But you're Birmingham born.
Birmingham
you went to school?
born.
Your
Yeah.
family
So
is
my
in business? I mean,
my dad is originally from Birmingham, Alabama. So my parents met in college at South Carolina State.
Wow.
Dad earned a basketball scholarship to go to
that's
school.
a very famous black school. I know that well.
Very
In South
famous,
Carolina.
absolutely. And my mother was from a rural town in South Carolina. So they met, married, and Dad decided to take his bride back to his hometown of Birmingham. And my maternal grandparents were very nervous because Birmingham was not a safe place for little brown people.
Oh, absolutely. We
Children, adults.
know that. It's a different world.
Different world. And I remember learning that Birmingham was called Bombingham just by sharing with people where I was from.
Gotcha.
As I was going to summer camps. And while I knew a lot about the civil rights movement, that's the first time I had heard that depiction of the place that I cherish and call home. But Birmingham is a magical and a wonderful
But you were
place.
born after your family moved back to Birmingham.
Yes,
You weren't born in South Carolina.
75. Born in 75 in
A child.
Birmingham. A child. 43 and loving every minute. Fabulous 40s. I
Right.
tell you, it's fantastic. So born in Birmingham. My dad from the city was a principal, public school principal. My mother was a school teacher. And so education was really, really important in our household. And it was really lovely. They were very kind, caring, supportive parents.
They had other children, of course.
Yes, I'm the oldest, born a leader, literally, Andy. The oldest of 4 children, learned how to influence them at a very young age. I loved cornbread. And my mother would give every one of us one serving of cornbread. And that's how I learned my negotiation skills, because I had to negotiate with my siblings to get an extra piece of cornbread. And that was always something that brought me a great deal of joy, just as it does now.
To get that extra piece.
Extra piece of cornbread and some fried green tomatoes.
Did she
I
give
am
you the
one
recipe?
happy- She did, and I love to cook. So the next time we connect, I'll have to
The cornbread.
whip up a little something.
Janny tried to make some last week, and it didn't work because the flour was bad or whatever. Cornmeal. Cornmeal wasn't good. But I love cornbread. I love it with a big slab of butter on it. But that's me. So you got 3 siblings to take care of.
3 siblings. So I am a divorcee, and I don't have any children of my own. So I have 2 nieces and a nephew. They are all lots of fun, and introducing them to Alabama football is probably the highlight of my existence.
No,
So-
I don't want to hear about the Roll Tide.
You don't want to hear about the Roll Tide? I mean, we're
No,
talking
God.
about excellence, Andy. This is a perfect
But it's so overwhelming.
integration.
It's so overwhelming. It's not a sport because they're so dominant. I mean
It's
it.
dominance. Absolutely. But in the state of Alabama, Andy, you do know when you were born, you have to declare your allegiance. It's either Alabama Crimson Tide or the other team, the Auburn Tigers.
Oh, I know.
So,
Yeah.
it's on my
And
birth
they're both
certificate.
state schools.
They both are. And it's a culture unlike anything I have ever seen. It's really unusual would be the appropriate term to use. You see any and everything imaginable tailgating. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to connect with family and friends.
Oh, it's a weekend party it's a party school without being a party school, but it's also academically a fine university. I know people from Washington that have the means to go anywhere, and they picked going to Alabama for an education.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic school. I made a different choice. I went to college in Winston-Salem at Wake Forest University. Fell in love with
Religious
Wake
school.
Forest. Yes, once affiliated
I
with
love
the
the Demon
Baptists.
Deacons.
Demon Deacons. That's exactly right.
Well, we have a very dear friend that we spend the Thanksgiving with him every year, and he's got more Wake Forest uniforms than the school has. But he's got it on his shoes, he's got WF on his shoes, got it in his jackets. Am I right, Janio?
Yes.
He's Wake all the way. It's a
Rocking the
very,
old gold
very
and black.
wonderful school. I know that.
It is. It's a fantastic school. And I learned about it in high school. I was on the debate team.
Wow.
And Wake Forest has a really strong debate program, and they would bring high school students to the university for tournaments, and that's how I fell in love with it. Really kind, caring people, very Southern, which is wonderful for me being from the deep South. And Dr. Maya Angelou was a professor there and someone I had the opportunity to study under, but she was the primary reason I wanted to go to Wake Forest. And
What was her name?
Dr. Maya Angelou.
Oh,
Yes.
a great artist. My God.
Absolutely.
You knew her in college
I
then, huh?
knew her in college.
I
And
hope
had the-
you stayed in touch with her.
Absolutely.
She is a world-class figure, of course.
She is, and a wonderful source of inspiration for
Everybody.
many around the globe. And it was just a really
Angelou, oh my God.
Yes, it was
World-class.
World class.
There's also a world-class golfer that went to Wake Forest.
I bet that we can pair this with our cornbread. You're talking about lemonade and sweet tea and those good old Arnold Palmer.
That's where he invented that drink,
They
didn't
did. He
he?
did.
And Arnold Palmer.
That's
he
right.
never made a dime off it. Did you know that?
No, did he
Never
not?
made a dime.
Well,
off
we've got to monetize things.
it. He doesn't need the money, of course.
Well,
Arnold
that
died
is-
last year.
I know. It was
And
Big loss.
But he was always, Wake Forest was in his life.
yes.
And that's where he really took up the senior golf was when he really got good. But you got good at Wake too because you had good teachers, good experience, correct?
Absolutely. Great teachers. And, Wake Forest is a values-centered university. Pro Humanitate is the motto for humanity. And that has continued to influence my life, not only with Junior League, but with some of the other things that I volunteer with
You're in more.
as it pertains to what's going on
You
in
can
our
never
town.
get hurt, get involved in everything because it pays off. It is a fabulous thing that you're doing because it pays off.
Absolutely.
The more you give, the more you get back.
Absolutely. I believe that. And I think
Your time is valuable. If you give it away, you're crazy. Get something out of it.
absolutely.
Satisfaction.
And I know for a fact, because I've been a lifelong volunteer, I do it because it helps others. But Andy, it's the greatest gift you can give yourself. You feel an enormous amount of satisfaction knowing that you've taken your time and you've given it to something positive and to something productive. So I really enjoy being a volunteer and
You
leading.
get so much out of it. Tycely, I grew up and people would say to me, "Don't you ever do any work? You're
Yes.
out all the time. You're going to cocktail parties, you're going to party, you're going to football games, you're going to grassroots meetings, you're going to meetings and so forth." I said, well, that's work.
That's right. You're a connector.
I'm working it.
You are a connector.
I am a connector.
You are.
It happened to me, and the greatest thing ever happened to me in my life is getting connected with Janice, of course, but she is right here. But we have believe it, and we both believe that the more you give, the more you get back.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you for being one of those. There are nearly 63 million Americans that volunteer every year. That's about 25% of the population. So hopefully through our exchanges, we can inspire and encourage other people to join us in volunteering because it's important.
It's just, you're so right, and there's so much out of it. And I was preaching to you, I didn't mean that, before we were on the air, about fundraising.
Yes.
It's been my experience that it took me my lifetime to understand that the people that give money are the people that give money. There are no others. They all give.
That's
if you
right.
spend your time trying to get money from a stone, you're dead. If you get it from a live person, you can win.
That's
and
right.
I found that out.
That's right.
I get turned down a lot. but I get turned down more from people that don't have any money.
That's right, Andy. And you said this earlier when we were talking. You know, what matters is connecting to people's passions. You've taken the opportunity to learn about where I'm from, what matters to me. And when you're trying to solicit, what matters is that you're connecting someone to something that matters to them. You're presenting them an opportunity to invest in something that's connected to their personal passions. And that matters a great deal. And in Washington, I think our culture is one that is philanthropic. It is literally the philanthropic capital of the world. There's so many nonprofit organizations.
As a country, we give away more than any other country in the history of the world.
Absolutely.
Foreign aid goes way, way, way back in our culture. It's to give away. And we do it.
Yes.
And we don't get a lot back for it, but we get a lot of satisfaction. So I'm talking to Tycely Williams, and we're having a great discussion about our town and all the great things that go on, and we're delighted to have you, and we'll be right back after this break.
Hi, Tony Sybil here from Tony and Joe's and Nick's Riverside Grill at Georgetown's Washington Harbor. We're here to talk to you today about our fabulous Thanksgiving dinner. Turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, clams, and oysters, desserts. Got to come celebrate the holidays with us at Tony and Joe's. We can accommodate parties between 10 and 200 people. So now it's time to call 202-944-4545 to make your reservations.
Hi, I'm Charles Mann. For athletes like me, playing every down in a pro game is like getting in a car accident. After years of playing football in Washington, my body is broken. I've had countless surgeries and joint replacements. I've been looking for a non-surgical treatment since I ended my career. I heard a radio ad for a seminar about alternative treatment. It's called regenerative medicine, which stimulates your own body to heal and repair itself. No surgery, no more pain. That got my attention. I went to a seminar to learn firsthand all about it. Now you too can benefit and receive this treatment. This is the same procedure that pro athletes use to quickly and effectively recover from injury. If you're looking to eliminate your pain and arthritis, or if you thought surgery was your only option, take the first step like I did. Call 410-787-7250. Register for the next seminar and learn more about this breakthrough procedure. Seating is limited. Register now by calling 410-787-7250 and start living life again.
You're listening to Our Town with Andy Ockershausen. Brought to you by Best Bark Communications.
This is Our Town. This is Andy Ockershausen with Tycely Williams. We've gotten Tycely through college now, and in the free world, let's put it, she's got to go to work. So she has a terrific background, and she got an executive master's in leadership degree from McDonough School. I pronounced that correctly.
Yes, McDonough School of Business, yes.
At Georgetown University. I mean, that's an incredible background, Georgetown. From Wake Forest to Georgetown is not a lateral move. That's an advancement, I think.
It's an advancement, and it's connected once again to those values we were talking about earlier. It was a great Jesuit education that also helped me to reconnect to my values and at the same time position myself to
Were you raised a Catholic?
I was not. I was raised Baptist.
Oh, yeah, well, that's in the South.
From the deep South, absolutely. Was raised Baptist.
But you found that the Jesuits have something special.
The Jesuits
They're the teachers of the world.
They are. They are.
and they were explorers, and they brought so much to America. The Jesuits did. So from the University of Georgetown, or Georgetown University, you got involved in the private sector. Did you stay in Washington or go back to Alabama?
Yes, I've been in Washington for nearly 17 years, and the majority of time that I've been here, Andy, I've worked within the nonprofit sector. So I spent a little over 5 years running a boutique consulting company, helping nonprofits.
Your own company?
My own company, helping nonprofits raise revenue, something we've been talking about today. It's really important to raise awareness so that charitable organizations can bring in the human and financial resources needed to propel the mission forward. So I've been a charitable fundraiser for over 21 years. I absolutely love it. I'm currently working with the YWCA of the USA. Right. So it's our national office. We're headquartered here in our town.
The YW.
The YW.
Well, where was the Red Cross fit in that? You were Red Cross for a while.
Yes, I was at the Red Cross prior to the YWCA, serving as their Chief Development Officer here in the metropolitan area.
Now.
Yes, working alongside Linda Mathis, who's fantastic. And
she's the president of
She is the president and CEO of the Regional Red Cross and has been a fixture here in the metropolitan area for many, many decades.
I know the name quite well.
Transformational leader.
Are you in that beautiful office on 17th Street?
So our offices, we are at 19th and L. So we are...
I know that quite
well. You know that corner of the world very well. Very well.
McKee Pontiac was on the corner. I know it quite well.
You know it quite well.
Luigi's was around the corner. I know 19th.
Yeah, so we're right there.
Downtown.
And it's fantastic. We have...
Washingtonian Magazine's in right there.
Washingtonian Magazine is directly across the street.
They're doing a story on you.
Absolutely. Well, we would most certainly be open to that. Most certainly be open to that.
Because what's good for you is good for leadership. It's good for American Red Cross. It's good for all your outside activities.
Absolutely.
To know you better.
Absolutely, Andy. That is very true. But at the YWCA... I love the work that I'm currently doing, Andy. So I am raising revenue to help us eliminate racism and empower women. And we are celebrating 160 years of service this year.
The
YWCA has been around for 160 years. It's also a fantastic organization, and it's really, really relevant at this particular time in our history. It's wonderful having the opportunity to raise revenue that goes back into local communities. So across the country, we have 210 YWCAs operating in local communities, providing direct services.
My mind says to me, YW is a younger group. Is that possible? Am I right? For some reason, I'm thinking YWCA is younger.
Yes. So initially, when we were founded, demographically, we do have some diversity. Similar to Junior League, there are women connected to the YWCA that span all ages.
History.
Absolutely, all ages. But we really do have a focus on developing the potential of younger women and ensuring, yes, that there's empowerment. And we're really centering that this year on economic empowerment and advancement. We do quite a bit of racial justice work and health and safety. So those are the three primary ways that we try to improve the community. But it's great work. We do it with devoted partners, also with an enormous amount of volunteers. We have over... pretty close to 20,000 volunteers across the country, who roll up their sleeves to help us advance the mission. So it's just a great opportunity, and it's a wonderful connection to do what I love both during the day.
You're a lucky person.
I'm a lucky person.
What a lucky woman.
That's right. Once the workday ends,
you're healthy,
there's
you're
more
happy,
work.
and you're in a job you love.
A job I love 24/7. I say it's morning, noon, and night. Advancing philanthropy. I live it, and I love it. So it's really a privilege.
Pays off. And if you don't have that passion, you can't sell anything. We were talking about what's happened to our world. My world is disappeared because people don't write anymore. I get people that write notes that I don't think they ever went to school. I mean, but being able to communicate
Yes.
is a blessing that you have. And I don't know whether it's your family or where, but you've got it in spades. Excuse the expression. You are a great communicator.
Oh, thank you.
But you do it in person. I mean, why don't you get you some television time somewhere, just so people can feel your passion for what you're doing? It works. You can sell people but you believe in what you're selling.
Oh, thanks, Sandy. Well, it comes from the types of exchanges we're having. Growing up in the Deep South, we spent lots of times on a porch, and there wasn't television or radio. You were encouraged to connect person to person, and there was oral history and the elders who would recount stories in comical ways, and things were animated, and it was just lovely and lively, like our exchange has been today. And so I just grew up in a culture that created that type of environment. And as a result, I just feel very comfortable connecting to people.
You're being yourself. And see, you got great world-class training, and you didn't have to leave the porch. That's an incredible story. But really, you exchange ideas. And you can't do that on a computer.
Correct.
You cannot get that passion out on a computer. There's no body language on a computer.
That's right. I mean, I am so grateful for our exchange because I'm able to see your emotions. I'm able to see your passion because you too are extraordinary. You have a gift, and this has been a wonderful opportunity for me to learn from you.
You're a godsend for our town and for our program, but more for what you do for the community. And we're so pleased. I don't know how they're going to keep you in our town. Somebody's going to come and hire you for the national, international, who knows, Tycely. But I'm so pleased that you found that we love you, love Washington, love our town. You obviously love Am Street, you love the Junior League, and I hope you get to love our program and pass it on to people. We want them to listen.
Absolutely. I, too, love this is my chosen home. This is our town, and this is where I've decided to hang my hat as an adult, and it brings me lots of joy.
You're a very young lady, and it's very important to us, and we appreciate you, Tycely, more than you'll ever know. But we've had a great conversation about our town and about your work, and we hope we have many more conversations. You don't know, I might be able to help you raise money. You can't tell.
Andy, I'm going to take you up on that. I'm going to take you up on that.
Vice versa. Maybe you could help me raise. I don't know. We don't need any. I got everything. I've got Janice and Ken. I got it all. And now I got you. And we're so delighted that you have been with us today. And Godspeed to you. We're here for you 24/7 in our town, Tycely.
Thank you, Andy, for all that you do.
This is Andy Ockershouse, and this is our town, and a wonderful, wonderful conversation with Tycely Williams.
You've been listening to Our Town Season 4, presented by Geico, our hometown favorite, with your host, Andy Ockershausen. New Our Town episodes are released each Tuesday and Thursday. Drop us a line with your comments or suggestions, see us on Facebook, or visit our website at OurTownDC.com. Our special thanks to Ken Hunter, our technical director, and WMAL Radio in Washington, D.C. And thanks to Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance.